The question of woman suffrage is an issue before the American people. 12 states have adopted it. 4 more states vote upon it this fall, and it is strongly urged that it become a platform demand of the national political parties. It is therefore the privilege and the duty of every voter to study carefully this subject. Honorable Elihu Root, in discussing this question before the Constitutional Convention of New York, recently said in part, "I am opposed to the granting of suffrage to women, because I believe that it would be a loss to women, to all women and to every woman, and because I believe it would be an injury to the state, and to every man and every woman in the state. It would be useless to argue this if the right of suffrage were a natural right. If it were a natural right, then women should have it though the heavens fall. But if there be any one thing settled in the long discussion of this subject, it is that suffrage is not a natural right, but is simply a means of government. And the sole question to be discussed is whether government by the suffrage of men and women will be better government than by the suffrage of men alone. Into my judgment, sir, there enters no element of the inferiority of woman. It is not that woman is inferior to man, but it is that woman is different from man, that in the distribution of powers, of capacities, of qualities, our Maker has created man adapted to the performance of certain functions in the economy of nature and society, and woman adapted to the performance of other functions. Woman rules today by the sweet and noble influences of her character. Put woman into the arena of conflict, and she abandons these great weapons which control the world, and she takes into her hands, feeble and nerveless for strife, weapons with which she is unfamiliar and which she is unable to wield. Woman in strife becomes hard, harsh, unlovable, repulsive, as far removed from that gentle creature to whom we all owe allegiance and to whom we confess submission, as the heaven is removed from the earth. The whole science of government is the science of protecting life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. In the divine distribution of powers, the duty and the right of protection rests with the male. It is so throughout nature, it is so with men. And I, for one, will never consent to part one. Will never with the divine right of protecting my wife, my daughter, the women whom I love, and the women whom I respect, exercising the birthright of man, and place that high duty in the weak and nerveless hands of those designed by God to be protected, rather than to engage in the stern warfare of government. In my judgment, this whole movement arises from a false conception of the duty and of the right of both men and women. The time will never come when the line of demarcation between the functions of the two sexes will be broken down. I believe it to be false philosophy. I believe that it is an attempt to turn backward upon the line of social development, and that if the step ever be taken, we go centuries backward on the march towards a higher, a nobler and a purer civilization, which must be found not in the confusion, but in the higher differentiation of the sexes.